so after a very disappointing season for the West Coast Eagles, it's finally good to know that there is actually some positive news coming, I think, very, very soon, because from a lot of reports around town right now, it is being said that Harley Reid will most likely be re-signing with the West Coast Eagles potentially this year, which is insane to think. Again, it is being said that Harley Reid's management begins contract extension talks with the Eagles. According to Ryan Daniels, an intriguing update on Harley Reid's situation. Harley's management have presented some options to West Coast Eagles about what an extension might look like, including a very long-term commitment to the club. Conversations haven't advanced at this stage, but parties are expected to catch up in the coming weeks. Again, this is a massive, I think, revelation of what we had been hearing for the whole entire year, that Harley Reid was really unhappy. He was having a lot of issues with the club. Again, rumors that he and McCoulter hadn't quite connected like he did with Adam Simpson. Again, all of the above. We know that Richmond had been coming pretty hard for him. Essendon had been coming pretty hard for him. A bunch of other different Melbourne clubs. All of the above. But in the last, I'd say, 10 weeks, he really has had an attitude change on the field. He just had arguably his best ever game against the Richmond Football Club, where he was absolutely insane. I mean, when he even started to get tagged by Jack Ross, he didn't have many good disposals and he wasn't very good that way, but he actually still kicked like 2 goals while being tagged, which is absolutely insane. Again, there's a lot of great things going on with Harley Reid right now, but a massive report coming out from Caroline Wilson. I mean, yeah, as I know, Caroline Wilson, not probably the best, but it's being said that unless we're talking $1.5 million minimum over 10 years, you're not in the ballpark. What Victorian clubs have been told by Harley Reid's management, per Caroline Wilson. Now, I actually trust this, so I'm going to talk about this, because if I didn't trust it, I probably would just sweep it under the rug like I try and do to the TV when I hear Callie Underwood commentating. But it's being said that Harley and his family have made it clear they do not want to go to a struggling club. Again, all of this is being done by Caroline. It's being said that he has no interest in St Kilda, no interest in Melbourne. I'm not sure if they've got much interest in Essendon at all. Essendon certainly has no interest in that sort of money. Again, the realistic thing is that $1.5 million, right, minimum, is 100% correct. And why this is correct is that Harley Reid, as we know right now, is reportedly looking for an 8 to 10 year contract. Again, if you're sitting there at home and you're wondering, why is everyone and their dad in the AFL right now getting 8 to 10 year contracts? Like, this didn't used to happen unless it was like the best player in the AFL, like a Buddy Franklin or a freaking, even Dustin Martin re-signed for 7 years, right? Tom Lynch was 7 years. I think Jeremy Cameron was 6 or 7 years. This doesn't usually happen, but if you're sitting at home and you're wondering, why is this happening? It is just simply because of the new AFL TV deal that is happening in 2031. Again, if you think about it, we are heading into 2026. That means you have 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, and 2031. You got about 5 to 6 years until the new AFL TV deal comes into place. And why the new AFL TV deal is so interesting is because from all reports, it is being said that because of the new AFL TV deal and how big it's supposed to be, whether it's from Channel 7, you know, freaking 9 or Netflix or even Pornhub or some shit. I don't know who's going to be the new freaking AFL TV thing, but at the end of the day, whoever it's going to be, it's going to be a massive jump from the last contract. So much bigger that it is being said that the AFL salary cap is expected to go up by, I think, about 30 to 45%. So essentially, if you look at it right, and if it goes up by about, 45 to 50%, whatever it's going to be, that means, let's just say the highest paid player in the competition right now, who is Tom Lynch, and again, he's on 1.6 million. If he's on 1.6 million this year. That means by 2032, the highest paid player will be on about $2.6 million, right? And I think with Tasmania coming in, a 20th team coming in, and the contracts we're going to be seeing, not only are you going to see the first $2 million player in the next couple of years, but you're going to see the first $3 million per year player probably not too long after that. So teams are getting ready. And what they're doing is that they're offering these 8 to 10 year deals, because in the first 5 to 6 years, while the contract is still what it is, players will be getting paid whatever they're going to. But then when the new one kicks in, their contract's going to be really back-ended. So for example, if Harley Reid signs a 10-year deal with the West Coast Eagles, in his first 5 to 6 years, he might be making $800 to $1.2 million. It eventually goes up every year. But then when the new contract kicks in with the TV deal, right, it's going to be really back-ended, and Harley Reid could be making straight away like $2 to $2.6 million. And that's what's going to happen. That's why the negotiations are happening. But again, as you heard from Caroline Wilson, he doesn't want to go to a struggling club. And there are 3 big clubs that I think leaves in contention for this. The first 2, you got Hawthorn and Geelong. Again, Hawthorn really want to have another inside midfielder. They've reportedly still got a little bit of cap space to work with. They didn't go and use it on Oscar Allen. I don't know what they're doing with James Warple at the time making this video. Again, whether he's re-signed or not, I got no idea what's going on there. He hasn't at the time making this video though. But at the end of the day, they think over the next year or so, they're going to have the salary cap and the assets to go and trade for a guy like Harley Reid. They've been really interested in him. Geelong, we know that Harley Reid was a massive fan of Geelong as a kid. He idolised and loved Joel Selwood, and Geelong would be the closest country style living to what he had, when he was living in Bendigo growing up. So, you got those 2 teams. But then there was one club that wasn't mentioned there by Caroline Wilson that I thought for a while now, I think they're slightly the front runner just in terms of they've got the most money and the most assets, probably over the next couple years. But that does happen to be Richmond. Again, you might be sitting at home thinking, hold on, aren't Richmond a struggling club? Well, not really. I mean, they're definitely nowhere near as struggling as what those other clubs have been for the last couple years. I mean, the reality is that only 5 years ago, Richmond were winning flags. And then you look at them now, they've transitioned from this flag period into being a team that wasn't supposed to win a game to winning 5 games straight away, having one of the best drafts it looks like we've seen in quite some time, having one of the brightest futures I think we've seen in some time, and give it about 2 to 3 years and I think they're going to be contending for finals again. So Harley Reid will take that into consideration. He's not dumb, right? Everyone knows Richmond have arguably the brightest future in the game. They've also got the most money and they're probably going to have the most assets over the next couple years. That's why they weren't mentioned, because outside of those other bad teams, they're the outlier. They are the team that should be probably having West Coast the most scared. But at the end of the day, I think at this point, with what we're hearing at the moment, he will probably be re-signing at West Coast. I mean, this could all change. Richmond could give him a Godfather deal over the off-season that he can't refuse, and they offer pick 2 and 3 up, which West Coast probably aren't going to be able to refuse. Again, are Richmond going to do that? 99% probably not. But there's always a chance. You never know in the AFL world. Shit happens left, right, and center that you don't expect, you didn't think was ever going to happen, and that's just what the AFL is. But I expect Harley Reid at this point in time to re-sign with the Eagles. If you ask me in 2 months what my thoughts and opinions are, it might be that he's going to request a trade of Richmond, Hawthorn, or Geelong. But again, at this time, from what we're hearing, he's 100% going to see out next year with the Eagles. And then he might, evaluate kind of where he's going. But I'm just saying, to the Eagles, right? If Richmond somehow managed to win 6 to 8 games next year while keeping their pick 2 and 3 from this upcoming draft, and they're probably going to have another top tier pick next year and all their picks going forward and tradable players, yeah, they all will also have the most salary cap in the AFL. Watch out. Like, genuinely, if you're the Eagles, watch out, because I think they're the closest, but we're hearing that he might be looking to re-sign. So I'm very interested to hear how this is all going to go. Again, do you guys think Harley Reid's going to re-sign with the Eagles? What's it going to be? Again, I don't know at this point. I think it's looking likely, but it could all very well change as soon as I upload this video. Again, subscribe to the channel for all those sports content news, my gaming/movie channel, which will be getting linked down below as well. And again, go follow me on Instagram, which will also be getting linked down below. Yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.